Woo!
And there we go. Okay.
We are live.
So let me just post on Facebook.
Yay. Oh my god, that's beautiful.
Sean missed it.
I did miss it.
Spoilers for it on my campaign.
Yay! I'm just pumped that I'm actually gonna get to do boat stuff.
Oh, we're not doing much. I'm flying through this last couple bits of the arc. I don't have time for us to spend a half of a year out of like real life time doing boat crap, which I hate to begin with anyway.
I know. It's great. It's so great.
Wait, you hate boat crap?
Oh yeah, it's the worst.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Talk about RDR2.
Yes.
PlayStation.
I didn't get it.
Classic.
Oh, that's good because your local GameStop will not have any more until tomorrow.
That's fine. It'll be a couple weeks before I get it. I'm in the middle of another game. I tend not to play two games at the same.
Yeah. No, because we completely sold out.
Courtney, I played lots of Octopath Traveler down in Disney.
I didn't touch my Switch this week. It was weird.
I'm now like 50 hours in.
Oh man.
Mostly grinding.
Yeah.
Still playing a lot of Street Fighter.
Yeah, I mean that's a given for you.
Different version. I'm playing some of the older ones. I'm playing like Alpha and Third Strike. Those are old ones, like 90s. I'm playing a little bit of Soul Calibur. Not a ton, but a little bit.
Boom. There we go. All right.
None of my friends play fighting games.
Sorry.
God.
Smash is out in December. There we go.
Yeah, whatever.
Yup, it is.
Doesn't count.
Ooh! And the GameCube controllers! Oh, the GameCube controllers!
Don't care.
Oh, the worst controller. Worse than an N64 controller, in my opinion.
No.
Yes.
Oh, no.
This might just be because I skipped that like part of the generation. I didn't really play any GameCube. That was my brother Matt. Matt was GameCube.
GameCube controllers were actually well designed with a good button layout and everything. N64 that controller is a train wreck.
The cow udder?
Yeah. The trident. Where they thought that games were going to have like that you could do up to 3 different control schemes. But who is going to make a game in which you didn't use any buttons, that you used a directional pad, a joystick, and like the Z button? Nobody was going to make a game like that.
Yeah, not unless you had a 3D game that went 2D at times.
But to do that control scheme, you didn't use the A button, the B button, the X or Y buttons.
Yeah, I'm just saying,
the C.
And 2D for the D-pad and the stick. But you don't even need to use a D-pad, really.
But
the only time I use D-pad is in fighting games. That's it. And even that depends. If it's a shitty controller and a shitty D-pad, I won't do it. Mm-hmm. That's why I bought my special Street Fighter controller, because the D-pad's really good and responsive. I can actually do 360s and 720s on it, whereas on a normal D-pad, because you need to be able to do 360s and 720s to play Zangief. I can't do that on a normal D-pad. Like on a Super Nintendo D-pad, I cannot do it. I was trying to play Zangief on SNES the other day. I couldn't do any of his moves on that D-pad. Street Fighter talk.
Maybe you should just get good.
I should. For as much as I love Street Fighter, I'm really not that good at it. I'm good compared to people who don't really play.
Hey, but you enjoy it.
I had one student finally beat me yesterday. The third kid this year finally beat me.
Nice. Wow.
Because I let the class pick a character for me, and they picked somebody I had no idea how to play. It was one of those 720 360 type characters where I didn't realize that. I was trying to do like Hadoukens or Sonic Boom style moves, where it's a charge or quarter circle type stuff, and nothing was happening. And he was like one of those big slow guys where you have to be close to do anything.
Yeah.
And she was just spamming, and I was like, I can't do anything. But she got the win. She got her name up on the board on my list of champions.
Oh, that's what your list is. Okay.
Yeah.
Up there with Zangief.
Yeah, I drew it was Ryu, but for the new semester I put Oh, because I was playing against him in Street Fighter Alpha, and I played as Zangief, and when I won, he had that like weird like face. I was like, oh, that's hilarious. I want to draw that on the board.
Nice.
So I did that this morning when we got in. I was already prepped for the day.
Nice. So, do we want to just kind of get right to it? Get things done a bit earlier.
You guys are in pain.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then plus it's also Talks Machina night.
Oh.
Yeah. Because normally we're doing it on Wednesdays and not Tuesdays. So we normally don't have this problem. But
that's right.
Yet I'm sure they're gonna add some sort of show to the schedule for Wednesday nights.
Yeah. Sean, did you get a chance to watch Laura's one shot?
I watched about half of it. Because I was trying to watch it while I was doing work yesterday from home.
Yeah.
And I only got like halfway through. Because I also had to realized I needed yesterday to upload Tales of Jamora episode 2. And again, the way it's encoded, rather than like the podcast tonight, will probably take like 20 minutes to upload to YouTube. Those take a good 2 hours each. So it takes me a total of 4 hours to just upload them to YouTube.
Yeah, that's video.
But it's I think it has to do with it being 1080p and like a .mov file as opposed to an MP4. Because with this, I export these as MP4s, and so that way, like, it's all encoded and ready to go and everything, and it doesn't process for. It takes like 10 minutes to process on YouTube, whereas the .mov file of a similar length, will take 2 hours to upload instead of 20 minutes, and then it'll take like a good half hour to encode and process after the fact. So
wow.
Yeah. All right. So we'll get started.
Yes.
Then.
Yes.
Just make sure. There we go. All right, going live. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming up on episode 118, Red Dead Redemption 2 is finally out. PlayStation Classic, the roster's revealed, BlizzCon music, and much, much more on the 8-Bit Adventures podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the 8-Bit Adventures podcast. We are bringing you the latest and greatest geeky news of this past week. I am your triumphant host, returning back from a vacation, so that there will be comics and streams once more. Sean Hayes, and my two wonderful co-hosts, as always, Courtney Bolin.
Hey, everybody.
And Josh York.
What was your triumph over?
My triumph was over boredom and work.
Yes.
I triumphed over work.
I look forward to going to work most of the time.
Yeah, but that's because you work with kids and you make a difference in the world.
I don't know.
Like,
they're just funny little humans, and I enjoy being around them.
I work in advertising.
Yeah. It's not like Mad Men. You're not drinking whiskey and like.
Yeah, no, like I thought about it as soon as I said it, I'm like, yeah, no, sorry, Sean, you work in ads. Like,
yeah,
no.
I work in a field in digital advertising. I work in a field where we are lucky if like a success rate of an ad is like 0.1% for clicking on it, and then and then converting. Like, if we get one conversion from an entire campaign, like, that would be successful. No, as as someone that I readily admit, I use an ad blocker at home. Like, I don't, Yeah.
Yeah, I curse you when I'm looking on the website and I'm getting blocked and ads and keep coming up and blocking what I want to see.
Yeah, it is quite terrible.
Yeah,
and
I curse you, Sean.
And I do not have control over most of that because my hands are tied. Also to know, 8bitadventures.com does not have any ads on it because I have to deal with it at work and I don't want to deal with it in my personal life. Yeah. So 8bitadventures.com, which is where all of this content is hosted, will always be ad free. So because of that, folks, if you would like to support this, you can become a patron over at patreon.com/8bitadventures. We'll have more information on that later in the show, but why don't we get into the news of the week?
Let's do it.
We should have a bumper for it, but we don't yet. So, yeah, I should do like a news ticker kind of.
That's what we used to do with the Nintendo days.
Yeah, but we didn't have an official one. We used to just go.
You use the steal the Berkshire weather thing from. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Hopefully, we don't get sued by.
Yeah, we're gonna get cease and desist
from who is it? Whoopi.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's gonna happen.
Berkshire weather.
I think you have to have an audience that would, actually eat into their audience.
We're coming for you.
Cost them money.
Coming at you. Who's a host I can call out Whoopi Radio?
I don't know.
I'm gonna start a beef.
You're gonna start a beef.
Yeah.
Save that for your radio show.
That's what I'm good for.
That sounds like a great life choice.
Starting beef and yelling about PlayStation games I love. That's about what I'm good for.
So why don't we start with that then?
Yeah.
PlayStation Classic, the roster, the 20 games in the roster has been revealed.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of underwhelming.
Half the games, I'm like, what game is this?
Yes. It kind of suffers from the same fate as like the NES Classic and the Super NES Classic suffered from. Where
that being said, though, continue.
Where I was just gonna say where you have a whole bunch of games on there that are pretty much like the equivalent of shovelware.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So that being said, there are some must on there for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
And Final Fantasy VII, we knew that was going to be on there.
FF7, Wild Arms.
Wild Arms. Wild Arms is
original GTA.
Yeah, a lot of people, especially kids now, probably don't realize it used to be a top-down. But I remember that back in the day.
I believe GTA was also on the Game Boy Color.
Might have been.
It was either Game Boy Color or the Game Boy Advance. But yeah, GTA was on a Nintendo system.
Yeah, that was the thing.
Wrap your minds around that one, folks.
But it was a very different game.
Oh, there's also Call of Duty games on DS systems.
Yeah, those were also interesting experiments.
You also have to remember that those Call of Duty games weren't really multiplayer games back then. They were basically just World War II games.
Yes.
Back in the early 2000s, they were just like, that's all they were.
Yep.
Or they, like Modern Warfare, changed it up.
Yeah.
And tried to copy GoldenEye, essentially.
Basically. So let's see. So what else we got? We got Tom Clancy.
Two Tom Clancy. No, Siphon Filter.
No, just Rainbow Six.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of other Stealth Man game. That's not Tom. That's who's Sam Fisher? Whatever Tom Clancy game that is.
Yeah.
No.
He's same as Siphon Filter Man to me.
Yeah.
Basically, they're both night vision goggles Stealth Man.
Yeah.
Basically.
Let's see what else. Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey, which I don't remember anything about this game, but I remember seeing it in magazines.
Cool game. It's a really cool game.
Yeah.
Odyssey. ODDYSEE.
Yeah. So basically, it's you're like this little alien dude, and you're like trying to save all your friends who are basically slaves in this factory, making food out of themselves or something, or like your race. Goodness. I don't know. There's a lot of Soylent Green type stuff going on in it. But it was a cool game, like action platformer. What game is it comparable to? You know, Out of This World on SNES?
Heard of a little bit.
Well, I guess it's comparable to that type of game. but action platformer type of
Yeah.
deal,
Okay.
maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, we get,
But I don't know if action platformer is even the right. But it's a cool little game. It looks cool. Even at the time, it looked pretty good. I think that's one of the few games on PlayStation that probably still holds up because it stuck to the 2D thing.
Yeah.
It did like the Donkey Kong world deal where it went 3D but stayed 2D in its perspective.
Okay.
If I'm
so
remembering
it was
correctly.
using like rendered.
Yeah, like rendered
pre-rendered
models and probably pre-painted, probably painted backgrounds would be my guess. Back then, most even Final Fantasy VII, that was all painted backgrounds.
We also got Rayman.
Yeah, that's a game I never played, but I mean,
that one
game that holds up.
That one visually still holds up. Yeah.
Yep.
I played Rayman. I really liked Rayman.
Yeah, Rayman's all right. That's your standard platformer.
This is a question that I have though, because like there's Rayman the Definitive Edition is already like out. It's been remastered and stuff. So like that's why I'm kind of glad to not see any Crash or Spyro games on here.
Well, they just Spyro just released last week, right? The HD
nope, Spyro
or soon
on the 16th or 17th.
So soonish, and
very soon in the next 2 weeks.
Point being, it's a zero gain for them to put that on the PlayStation Classic, and same with Crash because they just released the trilogy back in the spring.
I would say I'm still surprised given how iconic those were as PlayStation.
Crash
mascots.
was basically the mascot.
Yeah, it's no Crash, no Spyro, no Tomb Raider.
Doesn't matter. You have the two most important games. The two most important games are on there, and Tomb Raider because they've soft rebooted that. There's too much Tomb Raider right now in the new gen, I think. But you Final Fantasy VII, and Metal Gear, Stealth, Colonel.
I was gonna say there. So I saw the post on Facebook like for an ad for it and everything, and there was another podcast that had posted about it, and basically one person was like, you know what? It has Metal Gear on there, and that's the only game that matters. So I'm gonna pick it up, and it's like you're basically buying Metal Gear for $99.
Well, also Twisted Metal.
You have to buy your own power cable. I'm still salty about this.
Twisted Metal.
Twisted Metal
is a tight game. Tekken 3 is good.
I preferred Twisted Metal 2, but
me too.
Yeah,
but I mean, Twisted Metal's still good. Twisted Metal 2 was good because I think they expanded. If I remember, they expanded the roster a little more.
Yep.
And if I'm remembering way back when I played it, thinking 1997, 98 probably.
Yeah.
But I think I liked the levels better in Twisted Metal 2. I think in Twisted Metal 2 you could play a Sweet Tooth, whereas in Twisted Metal 1 I think he was like a boss. I don't remember.
I think he was one of the main characters in 2.
Yeah. I don't remember. I always like playing that because you play through like the story, almost like a fighting game. You play through the story mode of each character, and you get like you play just for that little at the end, like for the paragraph and the still frame, whatever.
Well, F-Zero. That was how F-Zero was structured as well. Is that you picked a racer and then you had a little mini story for the racer.
I kind of miss that. I mean, fighters still do that. Street Fighter still does.
Fighters still do that. Like ARMS does that on the Switch.
Cool Borders 2. Cool Borders 2 is a fun game. I forgot about that game until I saw it.
I have never heard of that game.
Oh my god, I played a lot of Cool Borders 2.
Of course, so back in that era, everything I ever heard about as far as snowboarding was like 1080 degree.
Oh, because I hated that game.
Like everything, it was either 1080 degree snowboarding or Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Like those were the only two that you ever heard about as far as boarding goes.
Oh, I played all those because I was like a poser punk, and then like middle school, high school. So I
and then if you liked more of the Mario Kart style, you also had Snowboard Kids.
Yeah, I think Snowboard Kids was better than, I don't know. I never liked 1080 snowboarding on N64. I don't know. I wasn't good at it. I didn't get it for whatever reason. But Cool Borders was easy. It was a lot of fun. You could do silly stuff.
Yeah.
The other one was there was like an ESPN X Games. It was like called 2 Extreme or something like that.
Yeah.
It was similar. It was a lot of fun.
I'm also surprised.
Everything was extreme in the 90s.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Everything
with an X.
Everything. Yeah. What else we missing? So
Chrono Cross.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. That's a very divisive game.
Is it now?
Oh yes. Are you familiar with it?
All I know is it's Square.
Yep.
If I recall, and that it was somewhat related to Chrono Trigger.
It is a direct sequel.
Yeah.
But it has to do more with parallel worlds instead of time travel.
Yeah.
There's like a bunch of character collection in it. There's like maybe even 100 characters you can get or something like that.
Yeah.
Like Suikoden style.
Yep.
So people don't like that because they feel like characters don't get enough development, which I would agree. I've never played through the whole game. I played through the first disc, I think, back when it came out. But people tend to either really love it or really hate it. It's just it's an all or nothing divisive type thing. So it's a cult game.
Yeah.
But people like Chrono Trigger purists are like, it's not Chrono Trigger. I don't like it. I don't know. I think it's a cool game in and of itself, but it does its own thing, which I appreciate that they didn't just make a copy of Chrono Trigger and they tried something different. And it's cool. It's actually a game I mean to go back and play at some point because I do.
Yeah.
But you're missing that. I mean, there's so many good PlayStation 1 games you could play. Gran Turismo 2, I would put that on instead of
there's a few
instead of
games
Ridge
that a lot
Racer.
of people are
Screw
getting.
Ridge Racer. Ridge Racer sucks. Give me Gran Turismo 2. Give me Symphony of the Night.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, no Castlevania.
Yeah, that's one thing that the message boards, like, I've been reading through the message boards, and like that's one thing a lot of people are really mad about. There's also no sports games of any kind, no racing.
Yeah, there is. Cool Borders.
Okay.
Cool Borders and Ridge Racer.
Ones that people have heard of.
I heard of Ridge Racer. I played it.
Ridge Racer!
Not as much as I played Gran Turismo 2, because I played a lot of Gran Turismo 2. That was a way better game. Yeah, but there's like these other games like, what is Destruction Derby? What is Intelligent Cube? What is Jumping Flash and Mr. Driller?
Yeah.
Persona 1. Persona's popular now because Persona 5 was huge.
Yeah.
And Persona Golden on Vita, those were both big games.
Yeah.
We're going back to the roots. I don't know much about the original Personas, but that's another RPG that's on there. Super Puzzle Fighter, which is a puzzle game with Street Fighter character. I never played it. I didn't get it. I like that there's
fun fact.
Street Fighter guys in it.
I have a we'll call it a card game, but it's played with like chips, like poker style chips.
Mm-hmm.
That is basically Super Puzzle Fighters, but using their own roster of like chibi Street Fighter characters.
Yeah.
So as to avoid paying Capcom any licensing.
Yeah.
But it's like the same mechanic. Like you get gems and everything. You perform combos to put gems on your other opponent's side, and they got to clear those gems out and everything.
I don't even know how that game works. I've just seen pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know how Super Puzzle Fighter works, but this game, which where is it? It's somewhere. It's somewhere in the cabinet. It's super fun. Yeah. But
Resident Evil Director's Cut.
Yeah.
Yep.
Original Resident Evil. That's
significant.
Best opening FMV. It's a live action opening with actual real actors, and it is so bad. It is the best. If you ever pay attention, John, if me and my brother Matt will sometimes quote it to each other. And nobody else will catch it. But if I ever go like, "No, don't go," I'm definitely quoting that.
that is almost like
it's that flat and awful when they say it in the video. It's so great.
It's like if you took Willy Wonka and him going like, "Stop, don't," but like his is intentional and theirs is not.
Yeah, it's just flat and awful.
Yeah.
The thing about that game was that was also done super campy and bad on purpose.
Yeah.
Before, like, I don't know, maybe Resident Evil 4-ish probably was when it started taking itself a little more seriously. I mean, it always has the camp, because don't forget, Resident Evil 5 has Chris Redfield punching a literal boulder. But that's when it was like super not taking itself seriously. They knew what they were doing. They were doing a campy horror game.
I feel like 2 took itself a little more seriously.
Yes.
Like for the main campaign.
Actually, you're right.
For the main campaign. And then what they did was they took a little more lighthearted fare, where as the unlockable you could unlock like Hunk's Adventure.
Yeah, and you just run around with a submachine gun.
Yeah.
Basically.
Which so for Courtney, this is you play as an Umbrella operative trying to get out of the facility.
Oh.
So like you have a badge.
So like you beat the game.
But he was called Hunk.
Yeah, how you do it was you had to beat the game in like under 2 hours with no saves.
Yep.
Like just basically had to run through without
What?
saving.
Yeah.
Like so you had to, and Resident Evil 2 is actually not a long game. That's so doable. My brother was used to do that crap all the time. But yeah, you beat the game super fast, and then you unlock being able to play as the umbrella guy, and it's like they play the game almost in reverse with him, and you go the reverse way, and you just run through mowing everything down with a submachine gun, which is fun because you have to conserve ammo so much.
Yes.
In the actual, that's one thing Resident Evil makes you do. But except 6.
They make you actually remember that ammo is not limitless.
Yeah, they did that in the newest one too. That was big in 7.
I can't even watch people play that game. That's so stressful.
Oh, I loved 7. It was a cool game.
It's so stressful. Oh my!
I love Resident Evil 2. That's Resident Evil. Probably Resident Evil 2 is definitely my top 5 games of all time for sure.
I mean, it had a crocodile boss in the sewers. Like you can't argue with that.
That's why I always do a giant crocodile in the sewers in my D&D campaigns.
Yeah,
it basically is my homage to Resident Evil 2.
Oh, it's not to Stormwind.
Is that in Stormwind?
Well, so I mean, crocodiles in the sewers is a classic trope.
Oh yeah.
Of anything.
It's a classic.
But yes, I don't think it's there anymore. But there used to be a rare spawn that was a giant white crocodile that would spawn in the canals in Stormwind.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I tamed it once.
Oh, nice.
And then got rid of it because like all it was just a white crocodile, and I was like, I can get these other places.
But yeah, there's a bunch of like crap games on it, but it does have some of the big ones, some of the important ones: Resident Evil, Metal Gear Solid, Final Fantasy 7. Those are like super big.
Yeah, I mean, some of the things that we saw, that we were saying earlier with why, there isn't going to be any Spyro or Crash on it because they just released those.
But we're missing. Oh, it should have Pa Rappa the Rappa. I think it should definitely have Pa.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Definitely Castlevania. Definitely Symphony of the Night, Castlevania. You should definitely have that. That's a huge game.
Yeah,
I kept seeing a bunch of other people in the message board saying something about Medieval.
Medieval was a cool game too, an action adventure game basically. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. That's the best.
Oh yeah,
should have been on
like that.
I kept seeing a lot
best of game soundtrack of all time.
Like that game was a cultural icon.
Oh,
regardless, like it didn't matter what game system you were playing. Like
I played that on PC.
Yeah,
I remember.
Like it didn't matter. Like if you played Nintendo, if you played Sony, if you played PC.
Dude, that's one of the few games I've probably 100%ed was Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. Unlocked, like you could unlock Spider-Man as a playable character.
Yeah.
You can unlock some like Cop, some other stuff. Like one of the few games I went through, completed every single mission and thing you could do. Like got high scores in every level, like completed all, whatever. But that game was just, whew. Again, like I said, I was a poser skater wannabe, so I was super into it. But it also that game has the best soundtrack of all time.
Yeah.
You got Rage Against the Machine. You got I think Pennywise, probably Rancid, Goldfinger, all those awesome like punk and pop punk bands of the late 90s, early 2000s. It was just awesome. And Rage Against the Machine, which is just awesome. Guerrilla Radio, geez. On the school level, I had Guerrilla Radio just on repeat over and over as I did it over and over.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Every time, because I would restart the level trying to do the perfect path to get high scores and collect all the letters and stuff.
Yeah.
I had to restart so many times.
Well, and it was also like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater and Pro Skater 2 like was such just a weird new concept. Right? Where it was like you had like it was just to get points, which was like an old arcade style thing. Like that the whole point of the game was just to play to get points. But that it was also kind of like this weird, like not quite open world, but like sandboxy kind of thing. Because like it was just here's a park.
Yeah, here's a level.
Yeah.
And you can go wherever you want in it.
You can go wherever you want, do tricks, get points.
Well, and it's also got like that 3D platformer collect
Yes.
Like you have to collect the letters to spell skate. You have to collect like all these videotapes that are hidden around the level.
Oh my
and like
God,
you had to
Oh
find.
my gosh, that's right.
So it was
VHS
like you had
tapes.
to find. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, kids. Tapes used to be on these VHS cassettes.
Yep.
Ask your parents.
You had to
But-
rewind them before you played them again.
And before you returned them to Blockbuster or Hollywood.
Oh
Video,
man, I
whatever.
remember that.
Just
Yeah.
renting videos in general.
That's something I miss about childhood, and maybe it's just a nostalgia thing of being young. But Fridays, coming home from school, and my mom bringing me and my brothers, we pile up in the minivan, and she'd bring us to either Blockbuster or Hollywood Video, or even I think Stop and Shop and Price Chopper both had video stores in them way back in Pittsfield.
Wow.
And we would rent games every weekend. Like me and each of my brothers would pick a game each. Sometimes we'd have to compromise because mom was like, "No, I'm not renting three different games."
No, so kids do that these days too, but it's just they go to the red box.
I don't know. It doesn't seem like the students I have do that type of thing.
Yeah, it seems like with the prevalence of like mobile gaming.
Yeah.
Like I'm legitimately surprised that Redbox has games for rent, given how cheap you can get games on mobile.
Well, Redbox also will just charge you for the game if you don't return it.
Yeah.
But renting games like that was how I discovered Final Fantasy VII. Like, and that was the first JRPG I ever played. I remember because it was in the video store in Price Chopper, which is now Market 32 in Pittsfield. But I'd walk by it every time in the PlayStation section. And I'd look at the cover, like, what is this weird ass game? Like, what is this spiky hair guy with sword doing? And I look on the back, and like, there's no gameplay footage, just pictures of cutscenes.
Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah.
It's like Sephiroth taking off the Genova head. I was like, this is so weird. And for like months, I would walk by it and look at it. I'm like, I have no idea what this even is. And then one day I'm like, I had rented pretty much every game anyway in the section that I was interested in. I'm like, I'm going to finally rent this and see what this is about. And changed my life.
Yep.
Changed my life, man. Introduced me to a whole world of games I had no idea about.
A whole new world.
Basically.
That was
could not help myself right there.
I initially rented Ocarina of Time.
What?
And I remember actually that was the
same with me.
That was the first and only time.
I hate this game.
The only time that I played a video game to the point that like I played it as soon as I got up and played it straight through all day without like eating. And then I was like, yeah, no, like I'm passing out at 5 o'clock, like literally like blacking out. And I'm like, I need to eat something. Like, let's never do this again. Yeah. And the saddest part was most of that day was spent fishing. Was doing the fishing mini game. Yeah.
Oh, that's adorable.
Yeah, so it wasn't even like going around adventuring or whatever. It was like, yeah, no, I'm going to spend the day at this fishing hole and try and catch these big fish. But
so all you really did was take the joy of fishing and do it digitally.
Yeah. I hate fishing in real life.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
In real life.
Yeah, when you have to run a fishing program at a summer camp for middle schoolers,
that's different.
You learn to hate fishing because
that defeats the purpose of the solitude and quietness of fishing.
Well, it's all you pull enough fish hooks out of your friends, and yeah.
I fish for solitude and quiet.
Yeah,
mostly.
Plus, it's also the whole like de-hooking. I'm done. I'm done with that. I can't. I can't do it.
Oh, that's what I got.
But I like the idea of fishing. Let's put it that way. I just don't like the actual practice. If there was a way to fish without actually using hooks,
gun.
Yeah.
No.
What?
Bow and arrow.
That's how they.
bow and arrow, that's a legitimate thing, actually.
But also, gun isn't like that's what is alligator technically going fishing?
No, that's hunting.
Fish.
That's hunting,
and that's because that's a reptile, not a fish.
Also true.
But they use guns on crocs.
Yeah, but it's not fishing.
That's what we're saying, Courtney. It's not fishing.
There is a such thing as bow and arrow fishing.
One goes out
but
onto the water,
that's the same problem, though. Is that it's the
kind of a southern thing,
it's the extraction of hooked things out of fish. But anyway, we are way off topic at this point. You know what? What about the multitude of Bass Pro fishing games that were on the PlayStation?
I'm sure there were. I don't remember them, but
why aren't they on the PlayStation Classic?
They might as well with some of the crap games they put on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in the message boards that are even saying, like, I'm canceling my pre-order. Like, this list is unacceptable. Like,
I don't think it's unacceptable. I think it's just...
For $99?
Again, this doesn't really apply to me because I own all these games hard copy.
Yeah.
The ones that matter anyway. And I have a PS2 that I use to play them, but whatever.
Because, I mean, what it boils down to is... I mean, at this point, like...
You can also get most of these probably on the PlayStation Store.
You can.
Yeah, and that's the other thing.
Vita or whatever.
No, literally every single title you can get on the PlayStation Network.
Although, here's the thing, though. You can't get them on the PlayStation. I don't think you play the PS1 games on PlayStation 4, if I'm remembering correctly.
They're through the PSN. So...
Right. You have to do it on you have to play them on your Vita, or you have to have a PS thing.
Well, your friendly local GameStop has a Vita.
I own a Vita.
A few of them.
That I never use.
If I really want to play 7, I'll wait for the collection to come out for Switch.
Yes.
I'm waiting for the remake.
But that's if I want to play it again, and I don't know if I do. Because like I very nearly 100%ed that game on PC back in high school.
Wow.
And yeah.
The only one of those I need to go back. 8 is the only one I've not beaten out of them. 8 is the only one I've not beaten.
And that one I won't be able to get.
I actually like 8 a lot, except the whole magic whatever.
Yeah.
We've talked about PlayStation Classic enough.
Yeah. So moving on.
It doesn't come with an AC adapter.
Yeah, that is BS.
Yeah, also that. Yeah, so more than $99.
So this I will say, though, it will be coming with a micro USB charger cable, but there's still nothing to plug it into the wall. So it's still absolutely useless.
You'd do better to get a Vita. You'd do better to get a Vita and just load up your SD card with games off the PS Network, because you get those games for $5 a piece pretty much.
Yep.
And you can also get whatever cool Vita games are.
You can probably also get like most of the games that we said that were not coming.
And then you've got them mobile as well.
Yep.
Which,
yeah,
it's better. Yep.
Sorry, that was my last thing. I'm just really, really salty at that because it really bothers me.
Yeah. No, it's totally fine. Totally fine, Courtney.
It's not ready to play out of the box.
All right.
Yeah.
Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah.
It's finally out. Finally here.
Yeah.
Has anybody played it?
I do not own a PlayStation 4.
Exactly. I'm the only one who plays PlayStation.
We were counting on you, Josh. We were counting on you.
I know. You know what?
It's fine.
I'm in the middle of playing another game right now, and I just didn't want to.
You've let us down, Josh.
You can inform us about your cowboy, the fidelity of your cowboy's nose hairs at some other date.
You can
actually, I'm actually a little weary on this game.
Why?
The more I hear about it, I think it's one of those games that's too big for me. Like my same problem I've complained about with like I've bought Witcher 3 but never played it.
Yep.
I think it's one of those games that just has too much. It's a bit overwhelming for me. Where I feel like I'll play it for a while and get too burned out because there's so much that I can do.
Yeah.
I think
so much that you have to keep track of.
I think it's there's like stuff where you got to eat and crap like that.
I was gonna say you have to eat, sleep, bathe, or not.
This is I do this in real life. I don't play video games for this. But yeah, I think visually, it's what everyone expected. It's
Dear God, it's gorgeous.
One of, if not the best looking game there is.
Yeah, best looking game.
Without
period.
a doubt, in this current generation.
Yeah.
I'd have to do side by side because God of War still looked really good when I played it, but I think for your immersion,
You're only gonna be as good as your TV.
well, obviously, yeah.
So
But I mean, 1080 is more than fine because
yeah,
don't people not see in 4K anyway? So what's it matter?
we don't.
Or like something like that.
It's
I don't know how this works, but isn't going that high pointless?
That I haven't heard of in terms of the image resolution. I've heard it in terms of frame rate.
Right.
That anything higher than 60 frames a second is a little dicey, but
yeah.
But yeah, I wouldn't know as I've never seen anything. Oh
no, you're not excused.
Sorry, I don't expect to be. I expect people to say nothing when I sneeze.
Bless. Take your 1d4.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. We'll see.
But yeah, it's finally out
in a few weeks, and I've actually heard people say they've had some problems with it. Particularly, gameplay is a little clunky. Some people have said.
Yep.
Because there's this thing where basically one button does everything, and depending on like the context of how your character's positioned and where they are, it'll do different things. So the button you use to shoot your guns is also the button you use to pat dog, which is also button to kick dog.
Oh
no! And accidents happen apparently.
Oh
no!
I was just reading some I was just doing my normal Reddit browsing, and someone was like, this is like, here's my dissenting opinion on the game, and here's the problems I have on it. And some people are like, yeah, I get it. I could see where you would have that problem with the gameplay being a little clunky in that regard. But we'll see. I'll give it a few. I mean, all the normal, critics and whatnot, your IGNs and everything, give it.
Yeah, it's getting like close to perfect score.
But here's the thing. You have to take that with a grain of salt because they're being basically paid to do that. If you go on IGN, every ad and every article they had on the release of Red Dead was a Red Dead related article. So Rockstar's paying them money to run ads and articles about it. So there is an incentive to give it a decent score.
I'll also say this: they have a different set of guidelines that they use, professionals versus novices, when it comes to critiquing games and stuff. They have different setups.
So if I will jump in,
yeah.
So one of the things to keep in mind, right, is that professional video game journalists, they will look at it with a little more of a critical eye, kind of a thing. However, a couple of things to keep in mind is, number one, video game journalists are not pro video game players.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Right? This is a thing where the gaming community often forgets and rakes them over the coals if they're bad at a game that they're reviewing. So it's two different skills: being able to look at something critically and then write about it in an eloquent manner, or mostly eloquent manner, versus being able to play a game like super proficiently. So
yeah, but I think
it's also
most reviewers are going to be just an average game, maybe a little slightly above average as a game player. Maybe yes, maybe no. But I think they're going to fall in the curve of video game skill being in that middle part of the curve more often than not.
Yeah. But they struggle with some things, they're good at other things. Here's the other thing. Reviews are, and this has been stressed several times by IGN in particular, reviews are opinions. Just like a movie critic, you might disagree with a movie critic's critique of a movie, even if they provide like solid points and reasonings for it. Like, you may still disagree with those, particularly if you take film, like if you studied film kind of a thing, you may be able to even counteract their stuff by saying, oh, well, they did this instead. But at the end of the day, like particularly with the number assignments, it's not that like things start at a 10 and they start docking points, or it starts at 0 and they add points for stuff. It's numbers are given based on a general feeling, and what they feel is worth. So there is some element of also like fungibility in there. So yeah, it's just a couple things to keep in mind in that regard.
Again, I would not disregard the business aspect of this and the relationship between the large video game news outlets and developers, because that's essentially advertising for them.
Yep.
So games journalists also tend to get review copies early, so there's some incentive there to keep a good relationship with the developer, so they're still getting review copies and blah 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 blah. That's why I tend to try. I mean, I always check IGN and whatnot, just because it's quick and easy to get information from those sites.
Yeah.
I tend to trust like YouTube reviewers more. And here's my reason. Here's my reason why.
Yeah.
And it was brought up by. I'm not going to mention the YouTuber's name, but there's a video where he talks about those larger outlets like IGN or Kotaku or whatever. When you get a review, you're getting a different person every single time. You're not getting a consistent review from the same person so you don't know the person who's doing it, unless every big game is reviewed by a different person.
Yeah.
So somebody might review Breath of the Wild, and then somebody might review Red Dead, someone might review Street Fighter 5, blah 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 blah, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's going to all be different people. So you're not getting a consistent rubric for the scoring. They might use one, like the company probably has one to go by, I would think, but still it's subjective to the reviewer. Whereas if you follow certain YouTube people or whatever alternative media sources, you're getting that same person's consistent view and opinion every single time. So to me, that consistency is more valuable, particularly if I find a person who has the same type of tastes and outlook as I do in game. So that's why I tend to trust YouTube reviewers more than I would trust IGN or Kotaku or that type of deal.
I mean, that's a fair point.
That is a fair point.
I spend enough time on subreddits where it gets spammed with a lot of people trying to pitch their YouTube reviews and everything. And it is and a reminder that the bar to publish something on YouTube is quite low.
Yeah.
So
And that's all fine and good.
Yeah.
You take it with a grain of salt, like but again, if you've been following someone and you know that
what this basically boils down to is there's pros and cons with both approaches.
Yeah. Like I said, I look at the like Kotakus and IGNs just because like I can go and find the review and navigate the site very quickly and get what they want to say and be out. Whereas if I want a little more in-depth and detailed review from somebody who has tastes and opinions similar to mine, then
yeah.
So because like for me, like because I also listen to some of the IGN podcasts and everything, like I will get a little bit more information on the reviews outside of just reading the review itself, kind of a thing, and then sort of learn a little bit more about the people that are writing the reviews, kind of a thing. It basically gives the same kind of background that you're getting from watching some like the same YouTuber, kind of a thing. So yeah. But yeah. So anyway, RDR2. None of us have played it. But yeah, there's a lot of people that are
stores all over this district have been selling out of copies of the standard game.
Yeah.
So it was
everyone knew it was gonna be a smash.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean that wasn't in doubt.
Yeah. No, we've been sold out since Saturday.
Yep.
I really like Red Dead Redemption 1.
Has still been available. Huh?
Red Dead Redemption 1 was a great game. I liked that game a lot. Like 2010, whenever the heck that was.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll probably play it eventually. I'll get to you on it.
So yeah. Moving on to other open world games, Fallout 76. The beta is available for those who pre-ordered the game.
Yes.
That's a practice I find a little weird.
What?
I mean, rather than doing, I don't know. It's just like either do
the whole idea that you have to pre-order in order to get the code.
That like it's essentially a closed. It's kind of like halfway between closed and open beta.
Right.
Where like the invite is, hey, give us, $60 and you're in.
Whatever, people do it, so businesses will do it.
Yep.
Businesses just want to make that money, so they'll do what they do.
Yeah.
Well, one reason why I know that I strongly believe that they've been doing that type of like pre-order and get access is that way they can figure out how many people their servers might have to hold, knowing that only a certain percentage of people are going to actually still pre-order.
Oh, well, I mean, that's typically the point of betas.
It serves a dual purpose. Like,
yeah.
We get free testing for bugs and glitches, and they're going to pay us to do it. We don't have to pay the testers to do it.
Yeah.
They're paying us to do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And we get to stress test our servers and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still know little to nothing about this Fallout 76 game.
I haven't heard.
It's going to be terrible.
All I've heard was like that they didn't actually encounter that many other players in the beta. But there's also I don't think there's any NPCs in the game.
There's
either.
no NPCs.
So
it's a little silly.
It's weird.
There's no NPCs. I'm very, very upset about this. I have lots of feelings about Fallout 76.
Have you played any of the other Fallouts, Courtney?
I have, and I really, really liked them. And these ones are gonna 76 is just, I'm so mad about it because there's no single player really campaign. There's no NPCs. Yes, you can be in a non-PvP like mode, but like you're not gonna be it's just no.
You should talk to the guy who changed my oil at the car place across the street from GameStop, Courtney. I went to get my oil changed the other day.
Talked with him.
The guy with the glasses?
Yeah, really tall?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's coming.
He was like, "Oh my god!" I went to get my oil changed, and then I ran to GameStop across the street to get a controller for my PC to play some games and whatever. But I came back. He's like, "Oh, what'd you get?" I was like, "What do you play?" And blah blah. We got to talk, and he like was going on and on and on about Fallout and how excited he was about Fallout 76, and it's gonna be the greatest. He couldn't wait for it. And
no, I see it.
Oh my god!
Sea of Thieves. You can play it on your own, but if you don't have friends to play with, you are SOL.
If you ever played any of those survival games like Rust or whatever, Ark, or any of those games,
really tough too. Ark, you really can't play without friends.
That's what I'm saying. It's just going to be a survival game. It'll be hype for like a month or two, and then people are going to be like, "Oh, this sucks," because people keep destroying my crap over and over again.
That's one thing though, is that they can't destroy it if they are in the non-PvP mode.
Well, then what's the point? What's the point of the non-PvP mode? Like, what is the goal of the game? I guess is my question.
I think that's that's what the question is.
Like, my whole thing is,
it's a walking simulator. Then
let me be a lonely person and not have to play with my friends online, and let me do it at 4 a.m.
I'm that in real life. Why do I need to do that in a game? Why do I need to be a lonely person in a game when I can be that in real life?
No, I already am a lonely person in real life. Don't make me have to make more friends to play.
That's the only place where I want to interact with people is in a game most of the time.
I have enough friends. I am at my quota.
Here's the thing. I don't understand, and maybe it's just me being ignorant of the game because I don't care that much about Fallout. Sorry. That what is the game? Like, what is your win state? What is your progression? What is your goal? What is the fun? What is the game? Are you just wandering around the wasteland?
The point of the game is the point of the game,
or is it The Sims? Are you just trying to build a house? Like, what is it?
Well, it's basically they've finally come out of the vault. The end of the people who were living in Vault 76 finally.
That's every Fallout. They came out of the vault. That's every Fallout.
But this is the first vault, right?
This is the first vault. Yeah. Where they come out and this is them starting to build the world back, which is all fine and good.
They did a crap job because in every other Fallout, the world sucks.
Yeah, but this one's in West Virginia, so like everything else has kind of been really spread apart.
So it's even worse.
Right next to Fallout 3, because Fallout 3 is in DC.
Yeah.
It's not right next to it.
West Virginia's right there.
There's mountains in the way.
There's
not that far. It's like 100 miles from DC. That's not far.
No, it's farther than that.
I'm looking it up.
It's farther than that, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Depends on where in West Virginia as
Virginia's a big state.
West Virginia is not.
No, but it's on but West Virginia's on the other side of Virginia than DC.
Yeah, but part of that creeps up next to Maryland.
No, it's not. It's not there. No, because there's a plantation that they actually have in the game that is real. I know this again because the people on the TV tell me all day long. But it's really cool because they actually were able to. They did like a cool launch event there. So it's a little bit further in, and it's not like right there. But yeah, no, so that's kind of going to be the point of this Fallout, is to be, settling the Wild West, or the Wild West Virginia.
So it's going to be Minecraft, basically, but without,
everything that I have seen
limited Minecraft with guns.
From everything that I have seen so far.
You know what? The only thing that can make this up for this game is if it has Liberty Prime in it. I feel like I've talked about.
You've definitely talked about Liberty Prime. I don't think it's going to have Liberty Prime.
The giant robot that just talks propaganda against communism.
Yeah.
Communism is death is preferable to communism.
Yeah.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
It's this giant robot that runs around shooting mini nukes and shouting capitalist propaganda. It's the best.
I do not think that they will be there.
Well, then this game sucks. Let's move on.
All right.
Okay. I agree.
BlizzCon. So the musical performers have been announced for BlizzCon. So Lindsay Sterling, Christian Nairn, you might know him as Hodor.
Oh.
And Train.
Okay. And Train?
Yeah.
This is the lamest concert I've ever heard of. I'm sorry.
No, that's gonna be a rave.
So Lindsay Sterling will be good.
I do not like her.
Why?
I don't like her.
Why?
What?
She annoys me.
Why?
You're gonna start getting this in surround sound.
It has to do probably more with religious ideologies than her music. But yeah.
Oh.
I think she's like super Christian or something silly.
Or something silly?
It's personal for her.
Exactly. That's why I'm not going to get into it. But that type of thing annoys me. Sorry. And I also don't like her music. So whatever.
Well, you, sir.
Okay, well, guess what? You can be wrong, and that's okay.
Impossible for me. Sorry.
But yeah, so she's performing Christian Nairn. So Hodor does DJ electronica music. And then I think Train's the weirdest one out of the bunch.
Train is the weird one.
Maybe they play WoW. Maybe that's why.
I don't know.
I doubt it.
Like Lindsay's in because she does she does covers of sort of geeky and fantasy music.
Yeah, I know that. Right.
Christian plays WoW.
Yeah.
Like he's a huge Warcraft fan. But yeah, so I don't know about Train. One of these days they're gonna have to get Deadmau5.
Hey, soul sister.
Please don't.
Like, I'm legitimately surprised that they have not gotten Deadmau5 yet.
He's kind of a jerk. I don't believe they would get him.
Why?
Like as a person, he's kind of just a big jerk.
Because he is a giant Diablo fan.
Yeah. Literally most of what he does now is just like Twitch streams himself making music and playing video games. That's like what he does.
I mean,
in his giant mansion in the middle of Canada.
Well, I mean,
Hey,
that's
good for
a
him,
great
man.
place to be right now.
Yeah.
Is in a giant mansion in the middle of Canada.
No, Brazil. That's where you want to go.
I would just like to be in the middle of Canada. Like
let's steer this ship back on course, folks. Yeah. Yeah, it's like that meme where it's you've got like the highway
yes,
signs.
That's the highway exit.
The highway signs, and then the car's just like taking a hard right off the highway. Yeah. But I mean, I'm never gonna get to go to BlizzCon because tickets are nearly impossible to get. I don't think the prices are unreasonable.
It's the availability.
But they sell out faster than like Comic-Con and PAX do. And then it's the airfare, right? Because you got to fly to Anaheim.
Yeah,
you can find a cheap flight to.
I can find a cheap flight.
Yeah.
It'll be an easy flight on Spirit Airlines, but it'll be a flight.
Yeah. Well, you just have to be able to stand a crappy flight for 6 hours.
6 hours.
6 hours.
Yeah.
Bring your Switch. You're fine.
No, my back would not be fine.
No. Nope.
Not for no cross country. Transatlantic is tough too.
Well, and then plus it'd be flying cross country for a weekend, which like I did it for Nerdtacular.
Oh, you have to make a couple week trip out of that. You don't just go for a weekend.
No,
you plan way ahead.
I don't have that time.
Well, I'm saying you plan way ahead, like a year in advance, knowing it's coming, and save your time for it.
Which I can't. So yeah. But anyway, important thing is, yeah, I'm realistically never gonna go to BlizzCon. So, I'm not getting the virtual ticket this year.
Why? Why would you even want to go?
Why wouldn't you?
Several communities that I am involved with go every year.
Other than to meet people you play with there, like I think the con itself isn't worth it in my.
Probably not.
Like you're gonna play games that you already play anyway.
Yeah.
Just like maybe beta patches of the game. You might be there for an announcement of something, but whatever. So you were there live, okay?
Yeah.
What's in watching it on the stream, whatever. I don't know, other than like if you went to like if I went with like a bunch of guildmates or something, we just all went together. That'd be fun just to like go and hang out. But it wouldn't be for the con. It'd be just to hang out with those people.
Yeah.
It's literally, I don't play WoW because I like WoW. I play WoW because I really hate WoW right now, by the way. I haven't got a stupid weapon to drop out of the raid in 8 weeks, and I'm ready to unsub because of it.
Hey, don't you miss when you didn't have to worry about weapon drops?
Oh my god, yes. I am completely non-competitive in damage anymore because I can't get a weapon to drop, and everyone's just way surpassed me because I can't get a weapon. Anyways, but the only reason I would go is the same reason I play most RPG or MMOs is just because the group of people I play with plays it, and I like that group of people.
Yeah.
About it.
So,
but
yeah,
whatever. That's a weird concert to me. Remember they had Metallica one time? What the heck happened?
They had Metallica. What? I think they had Ozzy one time.
They had the Foo Fighters. They had Blink-182.
They had Blink. Blink was another unusual choice.
They had Ozzy.
Yeah, Blink was a weird.
Ozzy.
Oh, they totally had Ozzy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
he was in a commercial.
They had Tenacious D one year.
Tenacious D makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I would love for them to get like any one of the either bands that cover chiptune music or chiptune artists or whatever
to
do covers. That they would be great. DJ Cutman would be great. Professor Shy Guy would be great.
They should get
the Proto Men,
the Backstreet Boys, or New Kids on the Block.
No.
Or
I'd be down for that.
Like Mandy Moore, Christina Aguilera.
Mm-hmm.
They should get like one of those K-pop boy bands.
Brandy,
like BTS. Have BTS go while StarCraft is playing.
K-pop would be good.
Yeah, K-pop would work.
Would be fun.
Dude, they love Overwatch, and they kind of still like StarCraft over there. But yeah. I would get a K-pop group actually. I'd be kind of cool with that.
Yeah.
I have
You're
a
cool with that?
I guess it grew on me a little bit while I was over there. I couldn't escape it, so a little bit it grew on me. I do admittedly like a few K-pop songs.
They'd have to shell out a lot of money to get them.
Slayer.
No.
Oh.
No. Electronica, if you got, I would argue, the premier techno group in the biz.
Oh, Daft
Punk. You get Daft Punk.
That would be good.
That would be great. You know,
that'd be awesome. And they just
I think they would fit right in.
What's that one album with the anime?
Oh, so the album was Discovery.
Yeah, they should just do that. Play it in full.
I mean,
just play it in total.
Yeah, that's their best album, in my opinion.
They have stuff from other albums that I like. That
Digital
I really
Love
like.
Is definitely my favorite song from them.
I don't know. I've never really listened to Daft Punk besides what's on the radio. Like, I've never consciously chosen to listen to them.
So what you hear on the radio, aside from Get Lucky, is from Discovery.
Go look it up on YouTube. Watch the whole. Basically, they made a whole anime that goes with the Discovery album. And watch it. It's actually really good.
It's called Interstellar 5555.
Yeah.
Okay.
And all the music is good too. So
yeah,
good tunes and a kind of an interesting little anime story that goes with it.
Yeah. One More Time.
Yeah.
Digital Love.
Better, Faster, Stronger.
Better, Faster, Stronger. Superheroes. Too Long. Something About Us.
I know how I learned about this? It was on like Toonami.
Yeah.
Like that's how I discovered that way back again in the late 90s.
Oh yeah.
Was they like played it all on Toonami one night.
Yep.
Like midnight or 12:30, the whole album with the anime and everything. I was like, oh, this is rad. Because we said words like rad.
Because we totally said words
Which
like
was
rad.
actually an 80s word, not a 90s word. But
yeah.
it carried over.
It did.
Yeah.
Comeback.
But so BlizzCon.
Yep.
And that's gonna be.
So that'll be that.
They announce a new game.
So basically, they kind of like expectations were reaching like a fever pitch for Diablo, and then they kind of tampered them back down, and everybody's now like
nah, bruh.
No Diablo 4.
They could just be some with us.
They could be.
Whatever.
Can you imagine what the
I don't even want Diablo 4. Diablo, whatever. We're gonna play Diablo again. Great. We're gonna grind for loot again. Great. I don't care.
I think
I want a new game completely.
A perception is that rather than doing like Diablo 4, they're gonna revamp the Diablo franchise and then have it so that it's like they just release one game and then they just iterate on that game instead of making. So rather than making like Diablo 1, 2, 3, and then 4 or whatever.
Basically, WoW it.
Yes. Is that they would do that thing and release like expansions for it and then just keep adding on to the same game. Kind of a thing.
I mean, I don't hate the idea.
Yeah. I mean,
yes and no.
If there is any game to do it, it would be Diablo because the gameplay doesn't really change.
No, that's what bores me about it.
Yeah.
It's just whatever.
Yep.
You play the flavor of the month build and grind your loot and see how fast you can clear rifts and how high you can get your rifts to go, which every season, okay, it's kind of fun to do it again for a little bit, and then like 2 weeks in, you're like, oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
This again.
Yeah.
All right, this thing that I don't like doing.
Yeah, I'm just hoping for a new game. I was gonna say Call of Duty Ghosts. Wrong thing. StarCraft Ghosts.
StarCraft Ghost Battle Royale.
There's actually a Battle Royale game I'm kind of interested in. It's called Battle Right Royale.
I have heard of this game.
Battle Right.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of Battle Right? It was like a MOBA arena game.
I've heard of Battle Right, yeah.
It was basically Battle Right was just kind of like WoW PvP, but top MOBA view, top down, essentially.
Okay.
And you pick a hero, and each hero has their set of skills.
Yep.
And it was known for being really competitive and pretty balanced as far as that goes. But they decided, like, we're going to get on this Battle Royale thing. So it's basically like a MOBA Battle Royale.
Yeah.
Which definitely interests me because, as I said before, that would be the only time I would be interested in playing a battle royale is if you could pick a hero and have abilities and stuff.
Yeah.
So, like, apparently, instead of getting weapons and stuff, you go around getting upgrades for your abilities instead of finding weapons and things like that, which is I guess I heard it's a little unbalanced because some characters like they just get too much of a spike in power early on, depending on what you find. But I guess that's also the same deal in Fortnite or whatever.
I mean, that's true if
good weapons early.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can, playing Fortnite,
find a gold scar right away. You're like, oh, I win.
Yeah, yeah. Or people running around with rocket launchers, grenade launchers, and gold heavy sniper rifles and shotguns and stuff. Whereas I'm like, I got a pistol.
I don't know. I think it's on sale on Steam right now for like $13 or $14. I may pick it up and give it a run around. I almost bought Mortal Kombat 10 because it's like $6 on Steam. Just because that's one of the fighting games I haven't played, and I'm kind of interested in it. But
is that the one that has Freddy Krueger in it?
It has Predator. I know Predator's in it.
Oh, maybe that's the new one.
I don't know. Or is it not? Is it Predator or Alien? I think it's Alien. It might have both.
Oh, you know what? The new one does have
dreads.
It's the new one.
Only difference that I know.
Yeah, there's a lot more differences in that. But the new one has xenomorphs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought which is just weird. Just because it was $6, but I like my fighting games on my console just in case, like, on the off chance somebody wants to play against me.
Yeah.
like couch style, but
yeah, there are times when the inclusion of additional characters in your game kind of don't fit tonally. Like,
well,
that's like how like
Gerald of Rivia's in Soul Calibur.
See that? I think that works much like
Soul Calibur always does that. Soul Calibur always adds
like
an extra character.
So like Soul
Link
Calibur,
the GameCube one,
you can add Gerald and you can add Link. But when you add Darth Vader or Yoda,
want to know who they're going to add in this one? If you're familiar, 2B from Nier Automata. Are you familiar with that game, Nier Automata?
I've only heard of the game. I'm not familiar with any characters.
I know of the game.
It was actually a game it was a sleeper. I should have played because it was right up my alley as far as like story goes. I got thrown off by the visuals of it.
Yeah.
Because if you look at 2B's character design, I'm like, this is some weeaboo waifu. Yeah, so I'm like, why is this girl wearing this skirt? Like, she's like an android, like a ninja android or something. This is the basics of it when I thought, and she's wearing like a short skirt and her boobs and blah 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 blah. I was like, this is weird. This is some Japanese anime stuff. But the story on it's like your type of almost Xenogears level philosophical like existential like breakdown. The short of it is aliens invaded. They sent robots to fight people on Earth. Earthlings made androids to fight them. Aliens and Earthlings both die off. And the androids and robots are still fighting each other, thinking that their races that made them are still alive. And there's like this whole existential thing, and they they find out, spoilers, like, oh, why are we fighting? What is this? Like, do we make our own choices, or are we doing what the human? Whatever. It's basically.
Do robots dream of electric sheep?
Exactly, but it is like Xenogears level, like. And like it references like Nietzsche and all like these philosophers and stuff, and I'm like, oh, this would have been right up my alley had I only known. But I watched too many videos on it; it's all spoiled for me now.
Yep.
But point being, they're adding 2B, the lady android, to Soul Calibur as a, I guess, DLC character, and that makes sense because she fits.
They should add the 47 different Fire Emblem sword fighters.
Oh my god, blue hair sword man,
right? And they're
blue hair sword man,
and they're all just they would all just be skins and costumes of one another.
They're all the same guy.
They all don't have blue hair though.
Just about.
Some of them have red hair.
75% of them are blue hair swordmen.
Some of them have white hair. I do this because I watched through all of the Smash trailers from Wii U and Switch. So it was when they debuted like all of the Fire Emblem people.
I'm being a little hyperbolic.
A little bit.
Not that much.
Not much.
That much.
Not much.
Not by much.
I'm actually kind of right.
Yeah. It's because you have Marth, you have Ike, you have Lucina, you have Chrom. And like for the Smash roster, that's 4 blue-haired swordsmen.
Yep.
And then you also have Roy, and Robin.
White hair,
I'm trying to think if there's any other characters. I think that might be it. Yeah. But what people were hoping was like to get a spear fighter, which I think would be interesting for Smash.
I am always a fan of staff or spear people in games.
Yeah.
But
you know what?
I play Killick. I play Killick in Soul Calibur because I don't know. I just like characters that have that reach.
And I don't think they get enough love in
I always play as Donatello in any Turtles game. I'm always Donatello.
Okay.
So I don't know. Yeah, I like.
Let's put it this way: staves, spears, and pole arms. Well, pole arms do, but like spear and quarterstaffs certainly don't get enough love in D&D.
Nope.
They are.
That's true.
Like regular spear is like typically considered a substandard weapon
because it's a D6.
It's D6. Okay. It's just disappointing when like it is a staple for most cultures. Like that's what you use. Yeah,
but I don't know. I think the way they describe a spear in D&D is I feel like it's short.
Yeah, it's a short spear.
Yeah.
Because,
maybe like
they used to be called short spears and long spears, and instead they changed it to spear and pike.
Because long spear is definitely 100% the standard in medieval warfare.
Absolutely.
Like that is the weapon everybody used.
But it's mostly like if you want to play like a Spartan, like that's actually not a great D&D build.
Yeah.
Because it's a spear that you have to be able to throw. So now you're looking at like a D6 and then a shield.
Hey, if you want to read a book where spear users get a lot of love, read Stormlight Archives by Brandon Sanderson. Nice. One of the main characters is a spear guy. You get a lot of spear love. Great book, by the way.
Or if you want to see a spear user kick some butt in Dungeons and Dragons, you can tune into our show every other Friday, Tales of Jamora: The Kraken's Wake, and see our very own Warforged Bard, Twixen, wield a magic spear.
That's right.
And sing songs. Sort of.
In a minor key.
In minor keys.
And creep everybody out.
He has a very weird way of inspiring people. Yeah. So yeah. And then last up on our news, it's Halloween this week. So go trick-or-treating.
Hey, okay,
give candy, get candy.
I've got one of my questions.
Each other.
Okay.
Here's a question.
Okay.
What? I guess it's a 2-part question. What is maybe a 3-part question? What is your favorite spooky or scary video game, movie, and book?
So when you say spooky or scary, do you mean like what is your favorite, like Halloween themed, or is like
nope, not even Halloween?
Okay,
just spooky, scary.
All right.
Skeleton.
All right. Who wants to start? Courtney, why don't you start? And
sure.
We'll start with game.
Okay.
And then we'll go around, and then we'll do movie, and then we'll go around.
I'll start because I've kind of been thinking about
this.
All right.
Favorite scary game? I'm gonna probably go with Resident Evil 2.
Okay. So and then
this game was terrifying to me.
Oh yeah.
When I was like 11 years old.
Yeah.
I would sit in the dark and play it, and just be terrified at the terrible pixelated zombies and monsters.
Yeah.
That game did such a good job because of the static camera and the weird angles it would force you, and the perspective you were forced to watch, because you didn't always know it was around the corner. And after you played it a bunch of times, you knew when stuff would come out. But like when I was a little kid playing it, and I never played it before, it was legitimately scary to me.
Yeah.
So we'll start with game. We'll each do a game. So that's my favorite spooky, scary game time.
Yeah.
So I have to be really, really like bad at this because I don't like playing scary games. I don't like watching scary movies. Like
Courtney, it can also be spooky.
Spooky in general? Like I don't do anything.
I know what Sean's gonna say. I think I already know.
Do you? Because see, here's the thing. I don't like scary either.
I know. That's why I think I know what you're gonna say.
And I'm like,
do you know?
scary, spooky.
Well, because I have a question for when it's my turn to come up.
Okay.
Yeah. Courtney, do you want to skip?
I need to skip, yeah.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay. My question is,
does
does the whole game have to be spooky, or can it be spooky parts of a game?
I'll let you have a spooky, scary scene or part or section of a game. Sure.
Big Boo's Mansion, Super Mario 64.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say.
Oh
Luigi's
yeah,
Mansion.
I knew that was. I knew that was coming.
Big Boo's Mansion, man. We want to talk scary without actually like nightmare-inducing kind of a thing. Big Boo's Mansion. You go into the piano room, and there's nothing in this room except for a nondescript piano.
It would be like creepy.
So, and the music for the time was like terrifying, kind of a thing. But like, so it's an empty wooden dark room. Mario runs in. There's just a piano in the corner. And you're like, and there's like a coin above the piano or something. You're like, oh, okay, I'll just go over to the piano. And then the piano, the moment you get close to it, starts going boom, boom, but with like big teeth and everything. It starts like chomping after you and stuff. Universally scared the pants off of everybody. To this day, there are people that are afraid of the killer piano. But yeah, I would have to say that is my favorite spooky area in a game, we'll say.
Okay.
Followed closely by Mad Monster Mansion from Banjo-Kazooie.
Oh wow. Oh, and then there's a lot because when I was a kid I was more into scary stuff, but like Maniac Mansion, if you remember that, it was on NES, but it was actually a computer game first, but that scared a lot. It was a weird game. Okay, so now movie. I would say
I know.
These are so many I could pick. I want to say Jurassic Park.
It's a solid choice.
That is actually a horror movie, I think.
Absolutely.
Is a good choice.
That's if it's not considered horror, it's definitely like action thriller.
It's a thriller.
Yeah, it's either that or like Aliens. Or even Predator, even though Predator's more of an action movie, but
nope.
Yeah,
I think I'm gonna go with Jurassic Park because
it's a solid choice.
I said this before. I would when I saw that, I would run home from school because I thought dinosaurs were gonna come out of forest near where I lived and chase me. So I walked to school when I was a kid. I lived like a mile from my school, and I would get to a certain point where the post office in Cheshire is, and then I would see the forest, like, which was just across railroad tracks, and be like, what if I saw the trees move? There could be a T-Rex in there. There definitely could. And I would just book it full tilt the last like half mile to my house. I was an idiot.
Oh, that's precious.
Yeah. I saw that when I was like 9 years old. My dad took me to like a midnight showing of it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Jeez. I was in 3rd grade.
So I actually have an answer on this one though.
Okay.
So I have to split this up into 2 genres though, because I have a favorite movie that is a classic horror movie, which is Carrie.
Yeah, good one.
Solid choice.
It. Yes. And then my favorite psychological thriller, because these are 2 very different movies, is Silence of the Lambs and anything in the Hannibal series. Yeah. I'm sick and twisted in other ways, not with video games.
Yeah.
Good call.
But yeah, those are my favorite.
Mr. Hayes.
My favorite spooky movie is Hocus Pocus.
Yeah. So spooky.
So spooky. But I mean, if you won't accept that one,
what movies actually scared you?
What movies? Lots.
Most.
Let's put it the most. Oh, geez.
Here, I'll throw an honorable mention as well. When Blair Witch came out originally in like 1999 or whenever it was, like that literally scared me because I spent a lot of time in the woods and stuff as a kid, and like I was like, whoa, what if there was a really weird like people or something in the woods? Like when I first saw that movie, it really scared me.
Yeah. Let's put it this way. I occasionally, they weren't nightmares, because I wasn't asleep, but it was just like anxiety of like and like overreacting to sounds kind of a thing, or imagining sounds kind of a thing. For movies that I didn't even watch. Let's put it that way. Like just hearing about movies, and I just got so much anxiety over some of them. But I would have to say, movie. Oh, that's tough. I don't know. I really don't know, because that's the thing. Like, is I just did not watch a lot of stuff.
That's fine.
I know
you gave us a Halloween themed movie. Anyway.
I think so one that I actually did watch. I don't remember the name of it, but it was like a Disney Channel movie. But it was like where I don't know. It's like it was like a family goes like camping or something, and then the mom gets lost, and she ends up in like a cave or something, and they think she dies. And this other woman comes into like the dad's life and everything. Turns out that she's like a gross monster. I think it was called like Step Monster or something like that.
Oh, okay.
But then again, I don't think so, because I think that's actually like the name of like another like drama movie that has nothing to do with monsters at all.
No, I think it's like a rom-com, but yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, I think it's like a what's her name? Jennifer Lopez movie, maybe.
Yes, I actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. No, I know this because of Google searches that turned up with the wrong movie like all the time. But yeah, it was just the monster design, like when you're like 8 or 9, was pretty scary. Yeah, but it turns out like the premise of the movie, like not really scary at all or whatever. It's, because she'll do creepy things like eat frogs and stuff like that or whatever, and the kids are like, oh, we got to expose her, and then they find out at the end of the movie or whatever, and then it turns out like she was keeping the mom captive this whole time, and she comes back and she's alive and everything. But
that's a fun decom.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean other stuff like as I got older, like it was less monsters and it was more like gore that would really get me. And it wouldn't be like having nightmares, it would be like traumatized. I think there was a time when like it wasn't the first time I saw Starship Troopers, but like after one point, because like that's a gory movie.
Oh, one of my favorite movies.
And like not scared at all, right? Because it's horribly campy.
It's made to be beautiful,
but it's just like a lot of the injuries and stuff. Like I was like shaking and like could not stop.
That is the greatest satirical movie of all time.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
I'm doing my part.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm from Buenos Aires, and I say kill them all.
Yeah, and like I can watch it now.
That's a movie I can quote quite a bit. They sucked out his brain.
But when I was little, there was a lot of like sympathetic, not pain, but just like imagining injuries happening or whatever, and it was just like like the ones that where his head gets impaled by the brain sucker thing. It's just like
yeah,
they sucked out his brain.
Like I could not do it.
That movie is awesome.
My parents insist that I was terrified of Jurassic Park, but I don't remember being terrified of Jurassic Park. I remember like looking away and not looking when like when raptors like were jumping on people and eating them and stuff. But that's like that moment in and of itself, like yeah, that's scary, But like it wasn't, like I watched that movie and then I was like, oh no, T-Rex is gonna get me. It was like I want a T-Rex now.
No, like the scene where the woman has to go like turn the power back on.
Oh yeah.
That's a legit. Here's the move. I feel like I've told this story too. Maybe not on here, but I showed this movie to my Korean students one time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh goodness.
And the scene in the kitchen with the kids and the raptors. Yeah. That's actually a very scary scene. And I remember one of my Korean students had his backpack on his desk, and he was just like,
oh no,
peeking above it like this, and then he kept like going, like putting his eyes below and peeking up during that scene.
See, I always loved that scene because I was looking at it from like I love the
like the
vocalizations
feeling
of the raptors and everything and
the-
how they moved and stuff. And
That's a scene I physically remember getting knots in my stomach over just because of the tension and suspense in it.
See,
Thinking
that's
like,
why
wow, this
psychological
is
thrillers
messed
are
up.
so fun.
So,
actually, I have one.
okay.
If it's not a movie per se, but if you want to count the Thriller music video,
Sure.
when he turns
Piece
into
of
the
media.
werewolf,
Yes,
like that werewolf design is scary.
amazing.
I was so well, actually, we'll get into this with book.
Okay.
Because you said book, right? Is the last one?
Yeah, last one. Here's the thing, books.
This
I
is
don't get scared of
this is tough for
books.
me because it's more book cover than book.
Here is probably my favorite, I guess, horror-ish themed book. Would probably be I Am Legend, which actually isn't a book. It's a kind of a short story, really, or maybe a novella. But yeah, probably I Am Legend, the literary version, not the Will Smith movie.
Yeah.
Because, and I don't hate to be cliche, but this is one part where the ending of the book matters way more.
Oh yeah.
Literally, the title of the book is one of the lines in the last couple pages of the book.
Yep.
But yeah, it's because he's the one hunting the vampires, and like he's actually the bad guy to them the whole time. When he gets captured, and he's like, oh, he's literally the last human, and all these vampires are like, he's the boogeyman to them because he spends the whole story, and like hunting them in the daytime and just murdering them during the day when they're asleep. So it's like they finally capture him, and he's like, and one of the vampires is like, yeah, you're the like thing we tell our kids about at night. Like you're the boogeyman who comes to get us. And then he's like, he says, oh, I'm the legend. I'm the myth to these people.
Yeah.
But that, to me, that was like, oh man, that was such a mind blower to me when I read that. I was like, oh, that was, and it's a really good story. It's a nice, it's short, it's an easy read, but it's like, it's so mundane. It's just this guy going around killing vampires all day, and then them kind of hunting him down in the end because he's the monster. It's a nice, I like that kind of subversion and turnaround. I wasn't expecting that when I read it. But yeah, that's probably my favorite horror themed, I guess, book.
Yeah, I had a series. It was the Fear Street series by R.L. Stine. Like, I was absolutely obsessed with those books. And I remember one of them that caught me, and I still think about sometimes to this day, is there was the house was haunted by the vengeful sister who had died, and her twin was actually playing her in the remake, Lifetime edition of Their Lives, and like everything keeps going wrong. The camera like smashes into somebody's face when they were going down to do a scream shot, and they get somebody else gets their hand mangled. Actually, like it happens where they get their hand mangled in the garbage disposal. Like those books though were so, I was so obsessed with those books.
I forgot about, I read a lot of Goosebumps when I was a kid too. I totally forgot about it.
Yep.
And
see, I never got Goosebumps, but I liked the Fear Street series.
Probably because there's about almost a decade between us, I would think, in age. That's probably why. Because I never remember Fear Street at all. I don't even remember that being a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also used to read a lot of like Bigfoot and UFO books and stuff. Like those were all the books I would take from the library at school, and I would take them over and over again. And those used to scare me a lot too.
Yeah.
And if you, Sean, you might be old enough to remember a show called Unsolved Mysteries.
I do remember Unsolved Mysteries.
Okay, good. That show scared the crap out of me as a kid.
Yeah.
Like I thought aliens were gonna come in my room and take me every day.
In the morning.
Yeah. Like I thought aliens were always gonna get me.
Which I think after books we should add TV shows.
Okay, sure.
Spooky TV shows. So
okay.
Before I do book, I remembered a bunch of other movies that traumatized me. Enough that it took me until now to remember. And these weren't movies that I watched by choice. These were movies that other people started watching, and then I just happened to come into the room at the wrong moment.
Awesome.
Or kept having to walk through the room at the wrong moment, kind of a thing. And so 3 of them actually that I recall. And these were like when I was like late high school or they were like late high school, so like junior senior year kind of a thing.
Oh wow.
Was I think it was The Haunting was one. It was made like around that time period. House on Haunted Hill. It's the one where they go to the insane asylum, kind of a thing.
Oh, I have another movie real quick.
Particularly like the demon ghost design or whatever, because it was just like an amalgamation of spirits, and it was all green and black and everything, and it just had like that, like super, like what's weird is like making it look like super cheesy, like 60s Disney era. Like ghost effect makes it scarier. A third one was Urban Legend. I think that was a horror film. It was like a slasher horror film.
Yep.
I could not watch most of that film. And they put it on. It was actually when I was visiting Williams as like here's all the people that got in. Come visit and like spend the weekend there or something.
Yeah.
It was
like an orientation.
All the other pre-freshmen were like, oh yeah, let's watch this movie kind of a thing. And I was just like, this is where I'm supposed to be sleeping, so I don't have a say, and I guess I'm going to try and tune it out kind of a thing. Oh, great.
Aww.
Yeah. There's a scene in which like they throw a dog in a microwave.
Oh God. Okay.
Yeah, it's that kind of movie. Yeah, and that's like and that stuff like that for the entire movie.
Yeah, we can stop right there.
Yeah. And then also growing up, Darby O'Gill and the Little People, because Disney film, Irish film, stars Sean Connery.
Oh no, I know that Connery. One.
Yeah,
it's a messed up. Freaking! I don't understand how that got out there.
Lots of banshees, and speaking
Sean
of like,
Connery doesn't like banshees.
Speaking of 60s era bad ghost graphics and everything, yeah, let's dress ladies up in like fluorescent green paint and dress them in like tattered rag kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Super spooky. And then at one point, like he opens the door, like they hear the banshee outside and everything, and they see her like coming from the distance. And then they open the door and she's like right there, and she flips her head up, and it's just like a regular like woman's face, but it's like painted with the fluorescent green paint and everything, but it's like she's got like glowing red eyes and everything. And then all of a sudden it's like super spooky, and then everybody's like, oh my God, oh no. And yeah. Scary when you're a little kid.
Yeah, just a little.
But anyway, for books, it was actually one specific Goosebumps book, and it was the one with the ghost dog. And the cover was like probably like a Rottweiler or a lab, I think, but it was like an angry, like snarling dog, but it was like a ghost dog with red eyes. And growing up, and to this day, I have a apprehension over large dogs, and so this entire book, the premise was like this family is haunted by the spirit of a mastiff. And I was like, this is the worst.
What?
Like Hound of Baskerville would be my nightmare.
To read it.
What's that?
My question is, why did you continue to read it?
I didn't read the entire thing.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was like, it's terrifying, so why are we watching?
Yeah, what one am I thinking? There's a particular Goosebumps I remembered, and I know I don't remember any of them that well because I used to just blow through them all so fast when I was a kid. There's one, and the cover is like a guy with an executioner's mask. He's got an axe.
I just love how we describe the books, and it's like, and this is what the cover looks like.
I'm always that was the thing.
Covers were very iconic.
Covers.
Yeah.
I want to say he was like
Goosebumps books. They were always going to be that cover.
He was like in a comic book place, like where they made comics. It was like an office building or something, but like this axe guy was chasing him around. I feel like that might have been a story, but
yeah,
I can't remember. I was super young when I read these books. I was like 9, 10 years, maybe 11. So long
but
ago.
as far as
You
like
were scarring yourself.
so that's one that scared me. But as far as like my favorite spooky scary book, like Frankenstein, that's
Ooh,
right
that's
up
a
there.
good one.
I loved Frankenstein. I actually read it for the academic decathlon competition, and then kept reading it.
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde is also really, really.
As far as literature goes, I really like The Raven by Poe, and also Telltale Heart.
Yep. Yeah, Poe's good. I tried reading Dracula, and I couldn't get through it.
It's a rough read. I did get through it.
It was kind of a difficult read.
It is not something I will subject myself to again.
Like it wasn't subject matter wise for me. It was just Stoker's writing style. I was just like, oh, I can't.
Yeah.
You just watch the movie with like Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt.
You can watch like any number of movies.
The Painting of Dorian Gray. That's actually a pretty interesting one.
We also, for that competition, we watched. There was a version of Frankenstein made in the 90s. That's really good. And like takes some liberties or whatever, but like is actually much closer. It's certainly a lot closer to the book than Boris Karloff. He doesn't have a whole flat top with bolts coming out of his neck, kind of a thing. But I'm trying to think if there was a big name actor in it, and I can't remember who it was. But anyway, yeah. All right.
You were gonna do TV show?
TV shows.
Unsolved Mysteries, without doubt. Unsolved Mysteries. I always thought there was a Bigfoot or an alien or something that was gonna get me.
You're gonna love mine, but yeah. I mean, there's so many to pick from. But Courtney, what is yours?
So,
are you gonna pick Supernatural?
No, actually, no, because there's something more spooky and creepy and scary.
Yeah, Supernatural's not very spooky anymore.
No,
Supernatural's just like two good-looking guys hunting monsters.
Yes, it started off. It was pretty spooky.
No,
originally, but
Black Mirror is one of those. Yeah, Black Mirror is one that comes to mind immediately.
What if your mate was a television?
Yeah. but seriously though, there was one show, and I literally cannot remember the show name for the life of me, but all of the kids would like meet in the library and they do like homework, and it was like, and this is gonna sound really weird, it was like the after school, when the kids were with Barney after school, the preteens were in the library doing their homework. And there was this one episode where there was this purple goo sentient thing. And I cannot remember the name of the TV show. I cannot remember the episode, but that like image of that thing has always, and it was like following them all around. Like it brought like it followed one of the girls home and was like absolutely like terrifying them. And then they ended up blowing it up, or like,
are you talking about Nickelodeon? Are You Afraid of the Dark? I got you. Sorry.
Oh, you got me. That was gonna be mine.
The Dark show.
But you weren't. They didn't go to the library. That's what you were.
No, they were always
the Midnight Society.
The Midnight Society. They would always meet around the campfire.
No. This was like daytime stuff happening.
Sorry, I stole your.
Was it Ghost Rider?
Yes.
Yes, I remember Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Ghost Rider wasn't spooky though. That was just like a kid's mystery show.
I feel like we watched that in school all the time.
That episode itself was terrifying to me. But the spooky episodes, the spooky, scary things that I think about now, yeah, is definitely when I think of something creepy, it's Black Mirror.
Yeah, that's fair. I won't watch it.
Or the scariest thing of all, the new shows on Netflix, where I haven't seen them and I have no idea what they're about.
Yeah.
And so it's.
I will say, the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina actually looks decent.
I
might watch it.
It's not bad.
Yeah, I might watch it.
I can't because it's not Melissa Joan Hart and talking cat puppet.
I actually saw they did a reaction video where the cast of Sabrina the Teenage Witch watches the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I kind of want to watch that one.
Oh,
like
but
normally
the
I don't
cast
do the
of
reaction
Chilling
video
Adventures-
thing, but
the cat Adventures of Sabrina did get its own spot on the for the premiere. So that was kind of adorable.
nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I was totally gonna go with Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Sorry.
It had the perfect blend of like interesting like little mini story kind of things. And then there were some that were like, even let's be real. The computer graphics that they were using, not the best.
I can't remember.
And yet there was still one episode where it was some kind of like gargoyle bat statue that would come to life and then fly across the room that like terrified me. And I don't remember much else aside from like the bat statue just being like, wee! And
I remember the show, and I remember the kids always being on the fire, and I remember the Midnight Society.
Yep.
But like, I don't remember any of the storylines or stories they told.
I remember one of them. It was a kid got sucked into a pinball machine. I remember that, and it was like one of those adventure pinball, like one of the themed pinball machines.
Yeah.
So it was basically, it was kind of like the Dungeons and Dragons TV show compressed in like one half-hour special, but it was pinball. And then he was finally going to get out, and then the guy that owned the pinball machine was like, "You're never getting out," and he like pulled the thing back, and giant pinball comes rolling at the kid, and that's like how the episode ended.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
that was because I think they showed that in like, that was like one of the opening sequence like clips that they would show. Is like the big pinball.
God, there's a lot of those early 90s shows. Like, I remember them existing, but I don't remember this. Like, Adventures of Pete and Pete, and
I love
So
that.
funny enough, Adventures of Pete and Pete was like 2 seasons.
Yeah,
it was not very long.
But they replayed it all the time for a long time.
So yeah, it feels like that there was like 8 seasons.
Nickelodeon did that with all their shows. They always felt like they were super long.
I mean, it was also like Clarissa Explains It All.
Yes.
And
Alex Mack, Adventures of Alex Mack.
Yeah.
I had the biggest crush on that girl. I don't even know who she is. But
when Courtney said, "Oh, there was like the goo that was following them around everywhere and stalking them," I was like, "Oh, it's Alex Mack."
The Capri Sun.
Yes.
Capri Sun
yes, she was a puddle of halfway between Capri Sun and halfway between Mercury.
Yes.
Yeah.
God, I just remember like me and my cousins at my grandmother's house, like watching that stuff all the time because we'd go up there for Sunday dinner, lunch every Sunday, and me and my cousins were all pretty close in age. And I just remember like Nickelodeon always being on those shows, always being on in the living room. It's like I just remember their existence, but I don't remember anything super detailed about them as far as story or plot or anything. But I remember enjoying them.
I have to do Google searches a lot to figure out if a plot of a show or heck, even if a show that I'm thinking about is like real or if it was just some fairy fever dream of mine.
Yeah.
I thought for about 3 years that the Big Comfy Couch was a absolute fever dream of mine. And then I was like, no, it's real.
Big Comfy Couch. Real. Is that Pee-wee's Playhouse?
No. Okay. So this is the other thing. So I grew up in Maine and we got CTV. So I was also raised on a lot of Canadian television shows.
Okay.
So Big Comfy Couch was about this little girl who is a clown. And it was always interesting to me that I liked the show because I like clowns. But she had a stuffed animal and there were dust bunnies that were real and there were people in her dollhouse that were real, and it would be her spending some time on her big comfy couch. It was an adorable little show.
Yeah.
And but like there was a period of time where I seriously like 2-3 years that like I was the only one who had ever seen it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was fun because I didn't ever watch like Pee-wee's Playhouse or anything.
Yeah.
Like I never. Yeah.
For honorable mention, for spooky shows. So we have to mention early seasons of Supernatural before it got all weird. Yeah. Before Supernatural started going the Xenogears route in its storytelling.
Get in your mech and fight God.
Yes.
Minus the mech part but yes. I mean they fight God's sister.
Like that's a legit
okay. Thing. Yeah.
Like that's a joke, but that's a real thing.
They fight Leviathans, which are basically like they fight all the monsters that were created back in like the ancient times that are now sealed in purgatory, you know.
Yeah.
But basically like early season Supernatural, Stranger Things.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
And Castlevania.
Yeah. I started watching the first season this weekend, actually.
Yeah.
It's only 4 episodes. I only watched 2.
There are only 4 episodes.
Yeah, I was just
but season 2 is out right now.
I know, that's why, because I really wanted to watch season 2, so I got started.
I might go back and rewatch season 1.
Whoever voices Trevor Belmont, I really like his voice. I think it's Thorin from The Hobbit.
I'll have to double check.
I forget the guy's
name.
But
I really like the voice acting. Yeah, it was good.
Good voice acting is good.
It makes you sympathetic with Dracula too.
At the very beginning, yeah. Well, that's my favorite thing is villains who aren't just villains for villain's sake.
Blah.
Actually, yeah, exactly. They have a legitimate reason.
Yep.
Also, want to know what? I like it because it reminds me of anime and manga I really like called Berserk, which is very gory and like demons and dark and gritty. Which,
I think I've heard that's similar, the comparison before. Yeah.
Yeah. Just its atmosphere is very similar to that. So
yeah.
I quite like that. It's right up my alley. That's my thing as far as atmosphere.
It's your niche.
I would also like to add basically Ravenloft books as a runner up for books. Because, you know. Creepy. Ravenloft is just creep factor all over the place.
I've never read any Lovecraft, but I might as well throw that out there.
Yeah.
Even though Lovecraft himself was kind of a really bad human being.
Yeah. I can do without it.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like Cthulhu's just been so overused at this point.
I'm just like people I don't like it's become a bit too cliche for me.
Yeah. Like I just don't care.
I do like the idea. I like the whole cosmic horror idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know what you're saying with it being kind of
like mind flayers, all about it. Old gods, all about it. You know, tentacle beasts and going blah blah blah. I'm gonna make you crazy. All about that. Just Cthulhu specifically, like, get out.
You're into tentacles, eh?
No.
You like tentacles? Huh?
No. Can we add that to things that would traumatize? Yeah, no.
Tentacle time, eh?
Ugh. Oh, dear God.
No.
Dear God, why? Why did you have to bring that in there? Why?
When my WoW killed,
that's whenever
whenever there's tentacles in WoW and we're like doing a dungeon or something, like we always, I don't know, that's just a joke.
That is your time of career right there.
We call it them hentai dungeons.
Oh, that's what Shrine of the Sea.
Yeah,
basically.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So, with that being said,
yeah, so we're gonna postpone once again playing with class this week, so that we can get this wrapped up in a timely manner.
Sorry, my question.
We've gone on a lot of tangents.
No, you know what? I like it better.
Good conversation. I think we had a good conversation.
Yeah.
And I like talking about that type of stuff anyway. So
we'll get around to talking about Paladins at some point.
Yeah, we can save the best class for another time.
And then we got to get to the actual best class. Not really.
Ranger.
Which is Ranger. Yeah, they're
definitely not.
They're definitely not. Unless you're talking revised, but we won't be because, you know. But anyway.
Even then, revised had this issue.
Anyway.
But we'll save it. We'll save it.
If you want to see more stuff from 8-Bit Adventures, including there's a weekly comic strip that I do that focuses on some characters that are NPCs trying to live their life in video game world. You can check that out over at 8bitadventures.com. That's 8-bitadventures.com. Over there, you can also find all of our social media links, as well as links to other projects. If you want to support that, you can head on over to patreon.com/8bitadventures. Patrons will get all sorts of cool benefits for signing up, such as like exclusive access to special patron sections of our Discord server, and advance viewings of things like Tales of Jamora, which is our D&D podcast that we do. D&D podcast and live stream that we do. Our opening and closing theme is One Up by Professor Shy Guy. You can find his work over at professorshyguy.bandcamp.com. And let's see, as far as stuff for 8-Bit Adventures this week, there will be an 8-Bit Adventures game night on Thursday. We're going to continue Earthlock. And then Friday, Tales of Jamora, The Kraken's Wake, Episode 3, where we venture into the jungle and meet some orcs. Orcs.
Here's what I propose. Something. Let's do a Street Fighter tournament. 8-Bit Adventure Street Fighter tournament. It's happening. If you want to see it, it's happening. Sean can't say no because I said it's happening.
Sean could still say no.
I'm just gonna show up at his house. I'm gonna tell everybody that plays D&D with us we're doing it, and not tell them we're just gonna show up at your house one day.
That could get really dangerous.
Hey, look, the Discord's cutting out. Oh no! All right. Have fun, everyone. Happy gaming, and enjoy your pie cake.
Bye, everybody.
Yes,
And there we go. So so the outro has ended, and that's going to be it for us tonight, folks, on the stream. So thank you for joining us.
Yay!
Good night. Have a wonderful Halloween, everyone, and hope you get lots of candy.
And remember that all of the candy goes to 75% off Thursday morning.
Don't eat that much sugar. It's real bad for you.
Yeah, no, you tell me how to live my life later.
Yeah. So, good night, everyone.
Bye.